Why is starting a nearly 50-year-old automobile and a Telecaster guitar related? Because we're back in the shop and we're building guitars. And if you come back, I'll explain what the connection is. So folded up against the wall is my vacuum press, my vacuum table. And the only way I can roll that down is to get the car out of the way. So that was the reason we had to move the car. So what'll happen is the legs will fold out automatically under their own weight. All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Bill. This is SixRounds Studio. Today, we're back working on the Telecaster guitars, and we're going to glue these tops, or this top, onto this body blank. And in order to do that, I have to get things lined up. And one of the things that is important and critical is there is a center line where I glued these blanks together, or these veneer halves together in a previous video. And I also did that to the body blank. Well, the body blank actually has a center line. So both of them have center lines. So I need to make sure that when I'm done, the center line on the veneer top is exactly in alignment with the center line on the body blank itself. So how am I going to do that? Well, I have some little tiny brads. I don't know if you can see the brads or not, but I'm going to drill some holes that are the same size as the brad, and I'm going to stick these brads down inside as soon as I coat these two surfaces with glue, because I don't want this thing shifting back and forth while the clamps are coming down on this thing. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Is I'm going to get this thing, these two tops, or this top and this body blank, centered up. Then I'm going to drill holes down through the parts of the guitar where that's going to get cut away. So there's no way that these little brads are going to interfere with the glue up, or is it going to interfere with it when I cut away the excess material. I got two guitars I'm going to do. I got both this one and the second one is the maple flooring, or the ancient maple flooring. So just know that when we're done, both of these guitars will be prepped for the next part of the process, which is actually cutting away the shape and cutting away all the inletting or the reliefs for the neck and the pickups and all that kind of stuff. All right. With the veneer aligned and attached, at least with the brads, and the top will not move anymore, I'm going to square this up a little bit with the table saw so that the bottom blank and the top veneer are roughly the same dimensions. So we are roughly dimensioned the same. Both the blank and the top are roughly dimensioned the same. The next thing I need to do is pull the top back off, and the brads will come with it. And I have to do one final prep before I glue this thing up. And that is, I need to scrape both sides of this to make sure I've exposed fresh wood, fresh pores. So this is a caul. The caul is going to overlay the top so that it helps put equal pressure throughout the entire top, so that we get an equal compression throughout the entire top to the body blank, so that we're getting a really good glue up. We're just going to use regular Type Bond 2 glue, just the standard glue. Now, one of the keys to this is we want to spread this as evenly and smoothly as we can. Now, once we start this, we do not have a lot of time. Even though it is wood glue and it has a fairly large amount of open time, that open time is not endless. So we need to get this done fairly quickly because we need to do the other board as well. We've got the top done. Go right back over to the body blank itself. What happens is the wood glue begins to absorb itself very quickly into the cells or the pores of the wood. And of course it begins to suck the moisture. The wood begins to suck the moisture right out of the glue, which is why you want to work this fairly quickly. I need to use this again for the next body, so we'll put this inside a clear plastic bag, seal it up. Alright, we need to roll this over. That's the easy part. Then we need to line it up so we get our brads back in those holes that we drilled to work fairly quickly. Okay, let's run this over to the vacuum table pretty quickly here. Before we get started, I want to explain to you a little bit about what the vacuum press is and how it functions. The idea is the table itself needs to be pretty flat. So there's a piece of 3/4 inch finished grade plywood underneath, and that's all braced up underneath. You should have seen that when I was laying it down, all the cross bracing. And then I have this really very flat piece of white melamite that, again, it's very flat, and we needed something that glue won't stick to. So that's why we use the melamite, but the problem is that we need to create a vacuum. So the hose goes into the vacuum pump, then from the pump it runs through this hose up underneath the table, and then there is a port that goes up through the bottom of this vinyl bag, which is sealed, then into the melamite board itself. We've cut a whole series of these grid squares, which are little channels, which allows the vacuum or the air to be vacuumed out of the system or the bag, so freely through the entire bag. This is a really heavy vinyl. So once the vacuum is on, it'll begin to evacuate or suck all the air out of the bag. It'll begin to compress down around the top, sucking the top to the bottom and then compressing all that glue. We'll let it sit there for a couple hours. That's usually enough time for the glue to set up, and then we'll pull the thing back out of the vacuum bag. And at that point, the glue will have set enough so that we have a nice glue laminated top. So once we have the pieces glued up and ready to be pressed, then we're going to put it up inside the bag itself, pull that vacuum, and then we're going to clamp it. Before we can start the vacuum, I've got to seal this end of it, and that's what these two plastic things do. I had to put one on the other end to seal the other end. So I have the hose connected to the vacuum pump. And then we're going to start it, and we're going to start it on auto cycle. By doing that, when it gets up to the correct vacuum, it will shut itself off. Let's start it. You can see it's already starting to pull itself down. The glue starting to squeeze out. So I've got glue squeeze out all the way around, which is a good sign. That means that laminated top is being sucked down completely to the main body below it. Okay, so we've met our vacuum setting, so it's shut itself off, and the pump will automatically maintain that until we shut it off. And in this case, we've actually got it set to 26 inches of vacuum. So it may cycle on and off actually. This is huge progress, getting these two laminates glued up. This looks really, really good. Got the maple top on the mahogany back, and we've got the maple flooring top on the ash back. This one is really heavy and thick. We're going to have to do a lot of machining on this one, trying to get this down to a dimension that's usable. This one is almost done. I'm not sure at this point if I want to run it through the planer, so I'm thinking I might just hand plane this one. This one is pretty much down to final thickness. Thanks for being here, guys. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.